10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good evening, Wrestle Talk Podcast family, and welcome to Wrestle Talk Podcast. It is great to be here tonight and just looking forward to another absolutely great show. We got the Wind Dragon going to be joining us here, in just a little while, and just looking forward to talking with him and everything. And unfortunately right now, Gabe is running just a little bit late, but that's all right. Not to worry. We're still going to get things rolling here and filling in till Gabe gets here with us. I have a very, very special guest here just filling in for Gabe. So let's welcome him in, ladies and gentlemen. It is my honor to welcome in the one and only Big Daddy P.
What's going on, my brother?
Hey, how is it going, Big Daddy?
You know something? If I was doing any better, I'd be twins.
Well, it is great to be here with you. Great to have you tonight. Just absolutely ecstatic to be here with you, brother.
That's awesome, brother. So glad to be on. So glad to see everything is doing well. Missed you guys.
Yes, and we missed you as well. We always look forward to having you on and chatting with you. And so it's just great that you could join us. Appreciate you filling in for Gabe for a little bit, and just absolutely great.
Wait till we get to snippets of truth. Do I have a story for you?
I bet you do, brother. I bet you do. So, but as always, we have to start out with a couple housekeeping things here, so let me go ahead and start out with our great and wonderful sponsors, because we absolutely could not do this without them, would not be here without them, so got to send out some love to all of them. So we want to thank our great sponsors, Retro Zone. We got Painter's Dream Productions, Independent St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame. We got Doomed Outfitters, World Domination Wrestling Alliance. We have a partnership with them, and FWWC, the world's premier fantasy wrestling group. So it's just great. We want to thank each and every one of them. Like I said, we wouldn't be here without them. And, Painter's Dream Productions is, of course, the one and only Perry. and we want to thank you for all your support. And
it's so great to watch you guys grow and still having a great time. Some people like to give up because things might get different than they expect, but when you just sit back and continue to work as hard as you do, that's why this show is successful.
Well, and as I say, we thank you, and we thank all of our great sponsors. And of course, we also have a thing. It's a fan sponsorship. And so far, Susie Haas is our only fan sponsor, and we thank her for that. If you want to know more about a fan sponsorship, be sure to hit us up. Let us know. We'd love to bring you on as a fan sponsor. And also, if you're watching on Facebook, be sure to send us some stars. You know, we do get a little bit off of those stars, and we appreciate those as well. So, you know, there's that. There's our little plug for that for the evening. Well, for now. So, you know, the next thing we have to do is the part that so many people love and so many people hate, and some just love to hate. But, you know, what would we be if we didn't pay homage to the best country around, being America? I tell you, it just brings a tear to your eye every time, or blood to your ears, one of the two. I think, you know, I've heard that every time we do that, Jeremy Carp somewhere has an absolute aneurysm, and, you know, so it's.
And look at all the comments you got already because of it.
Yeah, exactly. You know, we're getting the fans going already. You know, so we got AJ Wallace checking in, and Assad, you know, checking in with us. And Jimmy Harris Sr. checking in. Always great to have you, Jimmy. Thanks for being here with us. And AJ says brings a tear to his eye and a big headache. So, you know, people just lighten up the comments section, and be sure that you throw your comments out there too. And, you know, because we just love to have your comments, love to have you interact with us. And, you know, you throw a take out there at us, and we'll be glad to throw it up on the screen and let your comments be seen. And, you know, that's a way to let your voice be heard. So, all right. Well, I think that's most of the housekeeping taken care of there, Perry. So, Big Daddy, how about we get into a few high spots topics? Boy, I can't talk now.
Excellent. It's been a while.
Yeah, I know you always love talking the high spots with us. So, you know.
Well, I actually like learning new things, and it's funny because most people, when they share the news and they share things, they all share the same thing, but you guys sometimes bring up things that are different. And so I love those challenges because there's a lot of things I haven't seen. I mean, if you remember, I was pretty critical of Joe Henry, and now I just absolutely adore him. So, you know, and now he's got a partner. So I think that's awesome.
Well, you know, I still can't say that I believe in Joe Hendry. So, you know, but, you know, I better be careful. He might pop up, you know, by saying his name.
You just never know.
But all right, let's go ahead and hit that music and get into some high spots topics here.
Mic check. Yeah. All right. Wrestle Talk Podcast. DJ Money. Yeah. Let's go. Welcome to High Spots, where we pop news like clear chops. We talk shop, coming through the screens of a laptop. And non-stop like a running speakers of blacktop. We hit hard like chair shots and backdrops. Like a spark flash, look like a barely flop. Now that's hard. We up to speed while they stay slow. Wrestle Talk Podcast, now they know. We about to start the show. Mic check, mic check. Yeah.
So good, we want to do it twice, I tell you.
Telling you.
But yeah, so thank you to DJ Money for that High Spots music. You know, we want to really thank him. Very talented man. If you haven't checked him out, be sure to check out DJ Money. You know, can't thank him enough as well. So, and we had Herb Simmons checking in. You know, great to have you with us, Herb. Thank you for checking in with us. Always, always a pleasure. So let's go ahead, Perry. Let's get that randomizer fired up and let's see what it's going to have in store for us tonight. And our first question will be, it's going to be something about SmackDown. Let's see what is the question as the randomizer pops it up here, because so much stuff about SmackDown could be talked about. Let's see. SmackDown plans to go back to 3 hours in 2026. Is this the right move? That's an interesting question, you know. And is that the right move to go back to 3 hours? So, Perry, why don't you go ahead and throw your comments out there to us, and let's see what you think about it first.
Well, first of all, it's content. So because it's content, it means it's something that they can sell. So it's clearly a business decision. More commercials, more sponsors, more different things to promote. And I think it's a great idea. I think not only is it a good move, it's just, again, 3 hours of television, man, is a lot of content. And not a lot of people can produce that year in and year out. So the fact that they're able to pull it off and not lose, because again, see, the problem between 2 hours and 3 hours is that some people get off work and then they'll miss, you know, so this way, if it's on a little longer, they can catch it. So I think it's great.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of have mixed feelings about it, honestly. You know, like you say, it is more content, and right now it is great to be a wrestling fan because there is just so much content out there. I tell you, there's so much going on. But honestly, you know, when they cut back to 2 hours, I was kind of glad that they did that, because just having 3 hours to watch the wrestling and everything, that was to me a long period of time to sit there and I mean, not that it wasn't interesting, but it just was a big chunk of time to commit. And so I mean, I kind of was glad when they cut it back to 2 hours again. Going 3 hours now, you know, I don't know, because like I say, that is a chunk of time for one person to commit. I mean, everybody already has busy lives, and you know, 8 to 10 seems to be pretty decent. I think if they're going to go back 8 to 11, I think that's running a little late.
What I love about it is just the simple fact, because see, time is so important. So because time is important, I DVR it. And a 3 hour show might be 45 minutes for me, because I go over all the commercials. I already, if there's somebody in there that I'm interested in seeing, I can watch the full match. If it's someone that is on every single week in the beginning and and they haven't advanced very much, I probably move on. But again, if they didn't have 3 hours, I would only get about 20 minutes of SmackDown. Because again, there's so much fill, and that's why they're profiting, is because of the fill. So either
I can definitely see that. And I mean, I'm the same way. I tend to, there's just so much stuff on television and just so much stuff going on that I tend to DVR it a lot myself. And, so I go back and fast forward through the commercials, and, if there's a match, like a CM Junk match that I don't want to watch, I'll go ahead and fast forward right on through that. And,
especially matches with like DIY or New Day, I'm going over, because it's kind of like the Miz. You're always there. He's always available. He's always there. So it's easy. But when someone comes out like a Lash Legend or some of these new people, that creates my interest. So hopefully they'll continue to cross-pollinate with these other promotions and keep it interesting. Because it's, again, as much as we like to complain or have comments about what WWE or TNA or AEW or any of them do, we still love to watch. And they, year in and year out, still continue to provide content that's educational. It gets us to talk about it, because imagine if they weren't on the air, well, we wouldn't have any high spots at all, because we wouldn't be talking about it.
Yeah, and I mean, the other thing is it does give them more time to kind of tell the story. And it also gives more time, more airtime, hopefully will allow to see more talent, because 2 hours is kind of rushing, getting the amount of talent that WWE has out there. So it does help from that standpoint. It allows.
Well, think about it. 2 hours has how many commercials, you think? Approximately 5, at least, minimum.
I would say at least 5 commercial breaks of at least,
and then how many promotional videos? 3.
Yeah.
Right. So you've got 8 spots that have to be filled with time, which probably leaves you. We probably get, if you were to calculate, taking out all the commercials and taking out all the other stuff, I wonder how many actual minutes we get of actual wrestling. I think I'll do that research one day. It'd be very interesting to see, because, we would be shocked. I would probably say if it's a 3-hour show, you might get an hour of wrestling.
Yeah, and, you look at it, a 2-hour show, honestly, on average, you get 4 or 5 matches out of a 2-hour show.
And what's the longest one, you think? 15 minutes?
Yeah, 15 minutes is probably the longest you're going to see in a match. I don't think you're going to see much more than that. 20 minutes max. So, but
unless you're Damian Priest,
I would say 10 to 15 minutes average.
Yeah,
match. So, yeah, you're looking at probably about an hour on actual wrestling and a 2-hour show. So hopefully we 3-hour show, hopefully we can get at least an hour and a half of wrestling.
At least 3 more commercials. At least it's anyway. It is what it is, baby.
I know somebody who is absolutely chomping at the bit, wants to throw his 2 cents worth in here, and I would
say his is worth more than 2 cents. Come on now.
I was being nice. It may only be worth like, I would say a penny and a half, but they're not even going to make pennies anymore.
I was going to say, careful there, because they're gone soon.
But yeah, so I want to get him in here. Let's see what he's got to say, because he always brings the heat when he gives us his takes on stuff. Let's get the man in here, the young lion with the old soul, Mr. Gabriel Arsen, ladies and gentlemen.
What up, Wrestle Talk Podcast family? And just got to clarify this with you, gentlemen. All right. My opinion is not worth 2 cents. It is worth 2 nickels. Thank you very much.
Hey.
All right. Guys, how's it been? Perry, thank you so much for covering me, man. I was supposed to start off the show here today, but I'm so glad you could come into the show, man.
I'm glad that I'm even able to breathe. So we just thank God. That's all. So I can
tell you, Susie Haas is happy to see you too.
That's the best part of Thanksgiving, man, is that it just gives you an opportunity to be thankful for all the wonderful things, because sometimes we take life for granted, don't we?
Absolutely. Haas, thank you so much. We got to get this ball rolling, but you guys wanted my opinion on this question.
Why doesn't he have an intro?
Because I'm still an intern, according to them.
How long have you been a part of Wrestle Talk?
I want to say 2 years now.
I would like to right now make a statement that you should be upgraded from intern to something else. I mean, I think you deserve a promotion. That's above my pay grade in Wrestle Talk, but I'm just saying that I just want to bring that to the table for them to consider that all that, and I think what we need to do is get a vote from the fans. Should you get a promotion from intern to question what? And then what's your what kind of intro are you going to have? It's just, I'm going to lay it on the table and we can go from there.
See, the problem is that I want a bunch of licensed songs that we don't have the rights to. Because if I could, I would want it to be Pumpkin Hill from Sonic Adventure 2, but I know for a fact we don't have Sega's permission.
I got you.
Something kind of hip-hoppy. I like rap.
But what if I could get it, slow it down, pitch correct it, and make it like it, but then yet the copyright bots won't be able to catch it? You see, remember, Painter's Dream Productions, baby, 25 years next year. So you think about that, and if I can help you, besides just showing up and doing your job for you, which, granted, you're younger, right? But I'm more seasoned, charming, handsome, you know. Humble.
It comes with age, all right? So
like a fine wine. Like a fine Jewish wine. Oi!
But you have to remember, though, it took bringing him in to get me promoted from intern.
Oh, well, see? Oh, so what he did was because he brought someone into the show, then you can get, hey, have you brought anybody into the show, Gabe?
Well, Ace just joined, so, maybe we can work out something.
Well, wait, but if that was good enough for you to get an upgrade, why isn't it good enough if he brought someone in? I think that in itself should qualify him for but again, it's not my decision. But you have my vote.
Long as I'm not alone, that's all that I care about.
You're not alone, I promise.
Now, as far as the question goes, guys, I wasn't able to catch both of your entire answers, but as far as it goes for me, see, part of me, I mean, Haas, you kind of hit the nail on the head when you mentioned that, we are spoiled with how much wrestling that we have now. But I think as a result, it feels like too much. Like, you guys, I'm trying to remember if it was Monty Python or not, but you guys ever seen the clip where the dude's eating all the food and then he eats the breath mint and then he just explodes? That's where I feel like this extra hour of SmackDown is going to feel like. It's too much, only because, I mean, I'm backed up on trying to catch up with MLW right now. I still have another pay-per-view. I have to watch the Don Gatto special, and it's like I'm expected to watch 3 hours of SmackDown every single week on top of Saturday night's main event and Monday Night Raw. And then that's not even including anything outside of WWE. I mean, that's what I'm trying to remember where Ring of Honor is, but I know with we have Wednesday Night Dynamite, we have, Collision, and I mean, not even including all the extracurricular stuff like New Japan Pro Wrestling or Noah or all that stuff. So the only thing that I want to come out of it is that hopefully we get more potential for storylines. Hopefully we have more of an opportunity for something to come out of it. But yeah, I don't know that I'm going to be watching that long. I mean, I already kind of conk out by hour 2 in Raw. So second hour in SmackDown, you guys are really pushing my luck for my attention span. But
oh, now see, you just you were just pushing to come up from intern, and now you're saying that, you have trouble watching wrestling, and you want to come up from an intern on a wrestling podcast?
I'm a young growing boy. I need my sleep. I need my 8 hours. I can't do that if I'm staying up till 1 a.m. watching pro wrestling.
No, I get it. I do. I totally get it. And, there's only so much time in a day, so much that you can do. And, so I'm just not so sure about it. But, like Perry said, you can always DVR it, go back and watch it later, and your 3-hour show is probably going to be an hour.
Yeah, but keep in mind too, I have cable. He probably doesn't have cable.
No, he's millennial. He streams.
That's what I'm saying. So,
that is true, as shockingly accurate as it is.
So that's why he can't DVR it.
So, but yeah, so I think we beat this horse to death as much as we possibly can here. And
I want to throw it to the Wrestle Talk podcast family. Let us know what you guys think. Do you think SmackDown should go to 3 hours? Will you be watching it if it's 3 hours? But I'm with you, Haas. Let's jump into this.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and see what our next High Spots topic's going to be. And we have one about John Cena. And let's see here. Actually, I think there's a couple Cena questions in the randomizer here. So, yep, that's the one. All right. Whoops. Helps if I don't take it off. So as we near the end of John Cena's farewell tour, do you feel that the past 2 months of the tour have been better, worse, or the same as prior months before that? Well, I kicked off the last one, so since you just popped in here and joined us, Gabe, let's go ahead and have you kick off this one.
It's only dawned on me that we have one last John Cena match. Like, I know we all knew this, but it's really starting to set in. And it's one of those things where, as a result, I feel like we can take the opportunity and really look at his career as a whole, but especially when it comes to these past 2 months. So, see, for me, I was all about the Cena heel turn. I know I'm probably alone in that boat. I know some people say that it didn't work as well as they thought it did, but I was living for the promos. I was living for the programs with whoever he was facing at the time. And granted, I think it works better that Cena is a face now. And ultimately, I think it works best because he's taking a couple of losses here. I mean, granted, I don't think he should have lost Brock, but that's me, and I hate Brock Lesnar, so it's fine. But when it comes to him, I think him losing potentially. I mean, do you guys think he's going to lose that IC championship come Survivor Series? I think he is. I think he's going to put Dom over, only because I think Gunther is going to be his last opponent. And, it just goes to show the character of John Cena, that on his last couple moments in the pro wrestling bubble is set putting other talent over, that he understands better than anybody, that his stock will not drop, that he's like, there is nothing else after this. As much as there's certain people who might think he should retire with that belt, I disagree. But I think not necessarily that it's been better or worse. It's been different, and it's different in a good way. And I know that's kind of a nothing answer, but it's only because I can't really say that I like it more than the heel turn, and I can't say that I hate it more than any other face things that he was doing before the heel turn. So, I mean, that's just what I think.
In all honesty, I have to agree with the heel turn aspect. I liked the heel turn John Cena better than the face John Cena.
Dude, I rewatched that promo that he cut in Germany. It was the best thing ever. There's that 20 minutes, that crowd did not stop. I was just like, can I get that again? I want all the crowds chanting.
Yeah, I mean, so honestly, I would have liked to have seen him stay heel. I believe that was the better John Cena. I really do. I thought it was about time to see that. And I think it should have stayed that way right up until the bitter end and not have turned him back. But, WWE does WWE, and I know that...
No, WWE fans do WWE fans, not because at the end of the day, they were the ones who dictated where that was going. And I only blame it because leave it to the guy who has crowds chanting, "Let's go Cena, Cena sucks," be wishy-washy about what they want when he finally turned heel.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, I totally think, though, that the heel Cena was better. And so, no, I don't think the last few months have been as good. So, Perry, what are your thoughts on it?
Definitely better than prior months before that because it gave mystery. I myself thought the heel turn was too late by probably 3 months because you could have let that thing go out for a lot longer. And so that when he did, I knew he was going to turn back, but he had only so much time to turn back. So I was like, they're going to do something stupid, which I was right on that. But they had to bring him back. They had to turn him back because he just can't go into this last match as a heel. He can't. He's not known as a heel, even though he's ending it like that. But I'm not sure if I agree with Gunther. I don't know who LA Knight's opponent's going to be yet, but depending on that, I think it's going to be LA Knight.
All right. Well, let's get the opinion of another man here because he has a mind for wrestling. He when it comes to wrestling, he knows so much, and he does a little booking himself as far as being the head booker of the FWWC. So let's go ahead and bring him in here. He is the CEO, DeJuan Mills.
Oh, got to adjust myself a little bit there. There we go. Always the same thing.
And he needs a lighter. We got to get you a lighter.
I know. Particular stick I'm enjoying this evening.
Yeah, I to dedicate to tonight, I brought one too, actually.
Oh, okay. How do you mind passing me a lighter, please? And my cutter. Hold on, just, a little bit of, I think it's a special occasion tonight. We're talking about some amazing things this evening. We're talking about Cena. We're talking about End of Days. Usually I show up in my pajamas, but tonight I figured since it was a momentous occasion, I'd dress for the part. When grown men talk, grown men should act the part.
Correct.
Do I have to take Gabe out of the conversation now?
Oh, no, not at all. Let Gabe stay.
He has facial hair.
We're having fun. We're having fun, guys.
Exactly.
It's Wrestle Talk. This is a great night.
That's it.
We're having a good time.
That's it.
So what's the question, gentlemen?
When it comes to John Cena's farewell tour, do you believe the past 2 months of the tour have been better, worse, or the same as the prior months before that?
To be 100%, that's good stuff. To be 100% honest with you guys, I would say better. If you haven't noticed, Cena can be kind of a creature of habit, and I really think that the heel turn took him out of his element. It was okay. It was cool. But if you notice what Cena has done for the past, and I said it before when we talked about it, it's all about identification, okay? As a baby face, you notice sometimes they might wear brighter colors, they have a brighter ambience about themselves as a baby face. And Lord knows John Cena has millions of shirts that are Technicolor. rainbow color, if you will, you know, Fruity Pebbles. But he's a baby face. He's attractive. You know, you see that, you grab that. The little kids, little snot-nosed kids say, Mommy, I want to pay $30 for that shirt. It does the job. So when they turned him heel, in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, Lord, we're going to get, you know, John Cena from Fast and the Furious with the slick back hair and the black shirt and the tight-ass jeans. No, we got the same damn thing. Nothing changed. So unfortunately, we couldn't identify with that because nothing changed. When Hogan turned heel, black and white. When Sting did his thing, black and white. It was darker. Tatanka, you know, the Native American wrestler, you know, when he turned heel, he had the black. You could identify with that character. We couldn't.
Sir, are you comparing John Cena's heel turn to Tatanka turning heel?
No. What I'm saying is, that's the problem. You always want to talk out of turn. What I'm saying is that you have to identify. There has to be some identification with the character. So the reason the first 2 months wasn't all that is because, yeah, we couldn't really grasp it because it wasn't a really full heel turn. Now, these past 2 months, we've seen John Cena had his most authentic, his purest. He's speaking his truth. And I'm not really a big fan of the tournament, but we're still seeing something that this man is comfortable with. And since these guys are comfortable, we're comfortable, and we're getting a great show. That's just my opinion.
All right. Well, you know, since we're on the topic, I think we've already heard a couple of guesses here. One question that I know is in the randomizer here. Who do you think is going to be the final match for John Cena?
Yeah, I want to know who that mystery partner is. Because I guess, I mean, Sheamus and Nakamura, why is it a question mark? What happened there?
I can't remember. Did they go to DQ?
So then LA Knight doesn't have to wrestle somebody? He's automatically in?
Okay,
Maybe.
yeah, I can. I'm not going to give any spoilers, but because of the WWE and the holiday, they've technically already filmed SmackDown for this Friday. Considering Thursday is Thanksgiving, the Friday after Thanksgiving, the wrestlers have off. I'm assuming because they got to turn right back around and wrestle in San Diego on Saturday. So that's already been determined. Not going to spoil it. You want to spoil yourself? Go look on the forums. But it is going to be LA Knight versus a mystery partner or a mystery opponent.
Joe Hendry?
Yeah, and that's already been decided. We're not going. You just like Jey Uso versus Rusev. Rusev's already been decided. But again, they've already filmed that. We're not going to spoil it. It is what it is. So technically, right now we have the final four. I'm not going to spoil it. My personal belief is going to be Gunther. I believe that match last night. And here's what I like about Gunther. This is another thing I say about heels and guys and things that are different. You know, as a heel walks around the ring with a certain ambiance. He doesn't give a lot. He's a bad guy. You know, he might go for the eyes and rake the eyes and, you know, hit him in the nuts and grab a foreign object. Gunther is a heel, but the exact same time is in-ring worth ethic also gives to the other guy. That's why I appreciate and love Gunther's work in the ring. Even though he's a heel, even though he's a badass, he's not above getting his ass kicked. Okay? And in my opinion, that puts on a great match. Last night, him and Carmella Hayes, I'm going to say Anthony. Not Carmella, Anthony, the basketball player, Carmella Hayes. They put on an amazing match. I mean, it was toe-to-toe, go-to-go. There wasn't one guy that was getting, giving more. It was evenly matched, and that's why I appreciate about all of Gunther's matches. He always gives to the other guy, man. He always makes sure that it's an even kill match, even though we know he's the bad guy, even though he can take some, cut some corners and, kind of cheat his way through it. Gunther is 100% authentic in that ring. And in my opinion, that's the best guy to do it, in my personal thought.
Why would, though? Because he's already been an Intercontinental Champion, right?
Yeah.
So he don't need the belt.
I think I'll agree with Gabe. I think Cena will drop the belt to Dom Saturday.
I'm just throwing this out there. San Diego is Dom's hometown. And that's where Survivor Series is at.
True.
So he's losing the belt. Because I agree with you, Perry. I think that if he wins the IC title from Cena, that's a demotion. He's been a 2-time world heavyweight champion. It's like, it's not that I don't like him being the longest reigning Intercontinental champion. I personally don't mind it, but it kind of defeats the purpose. So I think that they're going to have him drop the belt because they want to try and clear up the water a little bit, because it's a little muddy right now with the whole, like, well, if he has the belt, what's going to happen?
Well, but how many times have we seen in WWE where somebody goes into their hometown and ends up losing a match, but when they lose the match, they lose it and like get beat down or something like that so that they can come back and look good even though they lost the match? How many times have we seen that too?
How exactly he's going to come back and look good if Cena is retired?
Well, I mean, if Cena wins, then Dom can come back and just beat the hell out of Cena and beat him down and be like, this is my belt. You know,
What wrestling moves are left that John Cena has done already? Because if you go back to when this tour started, we saw, I think, AJ Styles first, right? And then all of a sudden,
Styles,
every match, something else.
Oh my God, I'm trying to think of what else he hit. He hit just about everything, I think. He did a spear, I'm pretty sure.
He did. I mean, I don't think there's any moves left that he's done to pay homage to those who he's done the leg drop. He's done all of them. So it's just that's why I don't know who the mystery partner is, because
he needs to hit the lightning fist. That's what he needs to do.
Beans he's against Dom, you know, could he use a 619 for Ray?
No. Oh my God. If that actually happens.
The thing is, and again, who did Dom lose the belt to?
Cena.
So he's going to get it back?
Yes.
It's possible, but could Joe Henry get it? See, that's the thing. If it is Joe Henry, then I can't say LA Knight anymore. But then I feel so bad for LA Knight, because he has just tried, and it just seems like he takes 2 steps forward and 3 steps back.
You know, it's funny. It's him and Drew, and it's like, at least Drew is on the card for Survivor Series, but it just feels like they're the bridesmaid right now, that they're just waiting for their moment. And it's jarring, because for Knight, it's like, no offense to the man, it's like, obviously, I mean, he's, you know, at the peak of his career right now, but he's up there in age. So it's one of those things where I'm like, you got to pull the trigger while he's still here, guys. I'm like, one wrong tweak and he could be Kevin Owens. It's like, remember, he's out on injury right now. So it's just, oh my God, I'm with you on that. But I'm just like, they need to do something with LA Knight. He's sitting right there, and I really hate that they just kind of dropped what was happening a couple weeks ago for this, and then we're probably not going to get the payoff. But my heart says LA Knight, my brain says Gunther.
But the thing is, there's one name that if I brought this one name up, it would change the whole atmosphere, and everybody would know who it's going to be, and it could be another 2000 countdown. So if Jericho comes in, that's who I would probably put money on that he would have his last match with. Even though he's not putting him over, there is no put over there. But it is a way to bring Chris back in a way that is just the Royal versus the Royal Rumble, right? Because everybody's expecting that. And of course, they're not going to do what we expect. So then we get mad. So...
And, you know, honestly, that's another thing in the wrestling industry to really think about, is normally when someone has their final match, it's either they're running back a match that, you know, just had so much significance in their career, or they're putting somebody over. And, you know, so when you look at it, who needs to be put over? Yeah, that's probably whoever he's going to go against, is someone that needs to be put over. Unfortunately, LA Knight doesn't need to be put over. I mean, I'd love to see them do more with him, And
You don't think LA Knight needs to be put over. In this moment, he doesn't need to be put over.
LA Knight has the fan following already. LA Knight is already established.
It's getting quieter. It's
Yes,
not getting
thank
louder.
you. I was gonna say it's the same thing that happened with CM Punk. Is that he was like, "Hey, okay, we're gonna give you the main event spot. You just gotta outsell John Cena." And then he's like, "Okay, I outsold John Cena. Now what?" And then he kept taking L's, and then his stock started dropping. So that's my issue. Is that while LA Knight is this hot, clearly the fans are dedicated, but now you're testing their patience. It's like they're going to get impatient and they're not going to hold out for him anymore. And then by the time you pull the trigger, nobody's going to care. They're going to be like, oh, finally? If he doesn't win this tournament, he needs to win the Money in the Bank. This is his year for the Money in the Bank.
I mean, don't get me wrong.
He's going to have to. Hey, he's going to have to because his sister just got a belt before him.
I would love to see LA Knight win anything, because I mean, I'm a big LA Knight fan. LA Knight is from 30 minutes up the road from where I'm sitting right this minute. So I mean, LA Knight, I would love to see them do something big with LA Knight, but
hey, AJ Wallace made a comment with a very good point about one move that John hasn't done yet. I'm glad they brought that up because I didn't think about that. I haven't seen that move yet.
Yeah, I threw that up there a second ago. Yeah.
Okay. Well, there you go, Jackhammer. So.
But yeah, so I mean, it's hard to say who that last person's going to be, and whoever it is, I'm sure they're going to make it just a great match. But before we get going too much more, we were talking about these big pay-per-views and these big payoffs and stuff. And we have Mr. Dewan Mills here, the CEO of the FWWC. And of course, this weekend is FWWC End of Days. So you can't help but talk about End of Days, especially when you have Mr. Dewan Mills here. So, Mr. Mills, the floor is yours for a few moments, sir.
Thank you, Haas. I appreciate that. Appreciate you, Perry. Appreciate you, Gabrielle. But unfortunately, Haas, you are incorrect on one thing, because I'm not going to take up too much of your time. I'm not going to talk about End of Days. If you want to know about End of Days, go to the FWWC Facebook page. The entire card is there. Promos are there. There are 4 incredible matches that's going to be on display at FWWC End of Days. The International Championship is on the line. That is none other than Badass American Diva defending her title against Illustrator Kansas City in a Mexican street fight. Tag team titles on the line. Haas, this got a lot to do with you, baby. Haas Mafia goes against Brothers in Arms for the FWC tag team titles. Going to be a great match. Going to be amazing. Also, you're double booked, Haas. You're also defending that hardcore title against none other than Rage. So, Haas, man, how you feeling going into this? Double book, double match, man. Are you confident? Are you good? How you feeling, brother?
Hey, I am completely confident. I am not, I actually dropped a promo just prior to going on the air for Rage. I got another one sitting in the can that I'll be dropping here in a little while, for the tag team. And so just absolutely looking forwards to End of Days and, looking forwards to coming out a double champ.
So like I said earlier, I understand that I'm the CEO, and sometimes when I'm on the Wrestle Talk podcast, I'm a little bit laid back, but sometimes you got to dress the part. You got to identify with the character. And I've been a little bit chilled. You want to know why? Because I haven't had to raise my fist and hoop and holler and make demands and point directions and things of that nature. I've been able to book. I've been able to enjoy. I've been able to have a great time. And End of Days is the last PLE, the last pay-per-view in the FWC for this year. The last one for this season has been great. The Warriors Heart Championship, our vacated Warriors Heart Championship, our Warriors Heart Championship that, as many of you guys know, the night I spoke on it, was compromised, but we have a new pretty one. That championship, that match, that title, that prestigious belt in the FWWC that means everything to everybody. That belt will be on the line this Saturday at FWWC End of Days. We have none other than the ruler Saint, some call him King Saint, the man who has been here for 10 plus years and has made waves in the FWWC. That man will be going for the vacated FWWC Warriors Heart Championship. And it's funny because, you know, like I said, when grown men talk, grown men address things. I did say that going into FWC End of Days, I require 2 promos. I want to see these guys put on Showcase. Perry, it's been amazing promos, great things. We are the world's premier fantasy wrestling group. It's awesome. And I've never made anything about me going into any event, but somebody decided to rip up their contract and said they're not going to renew it at the end of this year. So instead of putting over the pay-per-view, instead of promoting the match, as always, this individual made it about him, but let's be honest, sometimes he can't even remember who to send pics to. I need everybody watching this to understand this one thing. For the past 10 years, I put my blood, sweat, and tears into this group, not only for myself, but the people around me, the fans, and everybody on the board of directors that has helped me, the CEO, make this place what it is. And I got to be, and I got to tell you guys, I told you I pay attention to everything. I watched everything. And for the longest, this individual has been trying to get my attention, but I'm not trying to make this about me because this isn't about me. Hell, this ain't about him. This is about FWWC End of Days. That's what this is about. This isn't about your personal grievances. This isn't about the fact that I took a point away from you. This is about the last pay-per-view of this year. And unfortunately, you were so selfish to make it about you. So since you want to make it about you, let's talk about you. Matter of fact, let's not. I'm going to say this one time and one time only, Gabrielle. You are lucky that you're involved in this match. And let's be honest, I'm the kind of person that upholds my mistakes. I admit when I'm wrong. I admit when I mess up. I admit when I fumble. I just turned 40 this year and I've made a lot of mistakes and I have fessed up to most of them. But I'm going to fess up to one tonight. Please, I'm begging you, don't make me think it was a mistake putting you back in this match. You need to understand something. We got a man of the cloth on here, so I'm going to keep my words clean. But he will tell you, just like any other man of the Lord would tell you, you keep knocking on the devil's door. Not only is he going to let you in, he's going to lock you in the basement. Gabrielle, my suggestion to you is this. Get prepared for Saturday. Do everything you got to do to win that Warriors Heart Championship. And I'm going to let that slide. I'm in a good mood. And because I'm in a good mood and because the therapy is working, I'm going to do away with what I put the stipulation as. Gabrielle, you ain't got to worry about that point because the point was worth it. Don't worry about no points taken away. Don't even worry about it. It's water under the bridge. But I tell you this one thing. Regardless if you win or regardless if you lose, regardless if you ripped up your contract, next season, you're going to see me. And that's either going to be in a good fashion or a bad fashion. One of the two. You got my fucking attention. Congratulations. You got it. I'm going to watch you from now until the end of the season and beginning of the next season.
I wouldn't have it any other way. See, I'll try to keep this brief because we're hitting into the second hour right now and I don't want to keep our guest waiting. I just want to take the opportunity to say that if you're waiting for an apology, it's not happening. Matter of fact, I'm glad I have you in person to say I meant every single word of what I said. And it stems not from a place of hatred, Duan. It stems from a place of love because I love what I do here in the FWWC. And when I have to deal with the things that I have to deal with, you know, I am main event talent. I am the person who puts the Warriors Heart Championship on the map that makes it matter the way that it's supposed to matter. And yeah, okay, I'm 27 and I'm young and I'm going to make a lot of mistakes like you did. I'm going to fuck up a lot more than I'm not. But the thing is I do own I own those mistakes the way that I'm supposed to. I wear them on my sleeve because they make me a better person. And I just want to say that I'm glad you removed the point deduction, because I want to show you everything that I have in store. And mark my words, mark them on this day and date. When I win that Warriors Heart Championship, you are going to get no more dissatisfaction from my performance. I'm going to give you everything I have to give and more, because I am that and then some and more. Because every time you tell me to step up to bat, I don't just knock it out of the park. I give you a grand slam. Gabriel Arsene is his weight in gold.
Good. Glad to hear it. Step up, win, and you'll see what's next for you, buddy. See, it's kind of like I don't know who's Batman and I don't know who's the Joker. I don't understand. I don't know who's Kingpin. I don't know who's Spider-Man. I guess we got to find that out, but that's another story for another day. Good luck to you, Gabriel. Best of luck to everybody at the FWC End of Days. It goes down this Saturday, 6 p.m. Central, the last PLE of 2025. We end the season. I'm excited. We're excited. And you're going to find this in one place, the world's premier fantasy wrestling group. That's on Facebook, the FWWC.
I believe in our scene. He's about to become a man. 2 promotions, not just 1.
3-peat, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm going to say it here. Hold up. I'm doing this right now because I'm letting you know right now. Saint, light work. All right. You've seen what I bring to the table when it comes to the Warriors Heart Championship. I'm sick of the schoolyard insults. All right. Show me what you plan on doing. Give me the 5 W's. How, what, where, when, and why. I'm sick of you thinking that you are Eminem in 8 Mile, just showing your ass to everybody on camera. All right. I want the Savior Saint that was world heavyweight champion, not the guy who rested on his laurels. I know you've been here for 10 years. My question is, are you going to be here for the next 10? Because I can say for a fact I am.
And ladies and gentlemen, this stuff writes itself.
All right. Well, Mr. Mills, thank you.
Gentlemen. 3-peat.
Thank you for joining us. And definitely looking forward to this weekend's End of Days.
That was 4 W's, by the way, not 5. You said.
Good night, gentlemen. Have a safe night.
You didn't think I was going to let that go, because let me tell you, it's all about growth, brother. It's all about taking the opportunities and go, okay, that's fine, and then be creative with it. So don't ever lose your passion. Don't ever give anything less than 100%. And at 27 years old, you'll do just fine. So keep going and don't stop.
You know, I have to take the moment, since we're talking about John Cena, and it's something that I've kind of locked in recently. I actually have a couple videos saved because I love listening to things that wrestlers have said that have been truer outside of a wrestling ring than anything. And it's John Cena himself that said, you don't have to do these things. You get to do them. And it's that opportunity that you make out of it when it comes to not just professional wrestling, but every aspect of what I do in my life. And I really am, because like I said, I'm young. I'm going to make mistakes. And sometimes I have to remind myself of these things. Some of the most obvious lessons are staring you in the face, and we overlook them because we think that it's second nature. But in my case, I always try to keep myself grounded and remind myself of these things because I care so deeply about this. You know, I'm wanting this next year to be my year. I finally paid off my car. I'm taking every last ounce of what I have left to give because I want to be a professional wrestler. I'm not content just doing it on the podcast. I love the FWWC, but when I see that you guys believe in me the way that I do, I know I have to shoot for greatness.
So, you know, and best of luck to you with that, Gabe. You know, there's a lot of great wrestling schools in your area, and so, you know, hopefully
I'm still waiting to hear back from Keikoa. I got to get my car fixed, but
well, you know, hopefully you will definitely hook up with him, and or, you know, he can point you in the direction of one, you know, if he happens to be too far or something, you know, hopefully he'll point you in the direction of some place that can help you out. And I definitely look forwards to seeing where you go with things from here. But before we get to our guest, because we got just a few minutes before we get to him, I want to be respectful of his time. And Perry, I want to thank you for stepping in tonight and helping us out with the first hour and everything. But before you get out of here, as we love to do so often, we have got to hit your snippets of truth, because I am sure you've already told us you have a heck of a snippet for us tonight.
Life is my snippet of truth. It is truly a gift. Wednesday night, and actually the reason why I wasn't able to join you Tuesday was I was totally exhausted and had to go down. I was tired, man. Wednesday night after church, I started to feel some pain in my chest, had some shortness of breath. So I went to the ER, failed a stress test, found out that I had a 90% blockage, 99% in my blockage in my widowmaker. Never had any heart issues ever. And the cardiologist, after doing the procedure and putting a stent in, said, I don't know how you're alive. And there's only one word, the Lord. And so I want to thank all those that have prayed for me. It's been a very, very, very challenging week, because when you think you're alive and you have plans for tomorrow, and then something stops it and halts you, the Bible says, in the days of prosperity, be happy. In the days of adversity, consider. I had to consider, because life is much more about just me. See, this woman right here is one of the greatest gifts outside of my children and salvation that God has ever given me. And she almost became a widow this week. And it's absolutely heartbreaking to think that God was ready to take me home, that he was going to stop the momentum that I thought he was doing. But what I learned is that every day is counted for. And so if you're hearing my voice, don't give up, because life is short. And I just want to tell you that the motivation that I've needed over the last about 8 years, I finally received, because I was able to kind of stare death right in the face, and the reality that what would I do with Painter's Dream? What would I do with Snippets of Truth? What would I do with all these things? And let me tell you, none of them are mine. My time, not mine. My money, not mine. My business, not mine. My wife, even though she is mine, she belongs to the Lord. And he can give it, take at any time. And I think about in the book of Job, how Job lost all of his family, right? It's a tragedy. His whole family except his wife. Why would God allow that to happen? And let me tell you, he dictated their lives in such a way that he knew that he was going to use them for this to happen, so that it could be written, that we today could read it. And that gives me motivation and fire to continue living for today. Yesterday, it's history. Tomorrow, it's a mystery. That's why today's called the present. It's a gift, and we have to treat it as such. And when you have your Thanksgiving and you go for, because a lot of people, when they have Thanksgiving, they like to say grace. They like to go around the table and say, what are the things that you're thankful for? And as you do that, I have a favor to ask of you. Would you please throw my wife and I, or my name and Perry and Jamie Hartman, into your prayers of thanksgiving? Because I get to live another day. And on Sunday, when I got up after the whole procedure and everything was fine, I was home. And I got up and I got some work done, and I went back in. I came into the bedroom and she was crying. And I couldn't understand why. And I asked her, I said, why are you crying? And what did you say?
Because I get to spend another day with you.
That, my friends, is a gift. So love the ones that you're around on Thursday. Love them, hug them, tell them you love them, even the ones you don't like. Because let me tell you, true love, it's easy to love those who love you, but can you love those who don't love you, who don't have the compassion or care that you do? Maybe they've spent a lifetime of hurt and being taken advantage of. So I just want to encourage you today that you continue to love the life that you've been given. And I thank you that after all these years, we still continue to just take a moment to shed some light in a very dark world. So if you're listening to my voice, you're not alone. Again, thank you for your prayers. Thank you for all that you've done. And if I annoyed you before, you ain't seen shit yet, because I am fired up to give people hope and truth and the things that they need to advance the plan that God has in their life. Capiche? Arsene, you better learn from that, brother. Now that is a promo.
Thank you. I know that was intended for everybody, but I felt like you were speaking to me there. Thank you, Perry.
Dude, every time I come on, it's for all of us. I can't teach you what I haven't learned yet. So because we're older, we have the wonderful opportunity to love on you and to see your passion. I remember the first time I ever preached a sermon, my voice was shaky and I was all like, just like you. And let me tell you, 25 years later, Sunday, when my pastor stood up, and next thing I know, and I've thought about that, Renee, time is precious, man. And so I'll consider it, because I know if I get involved with it, y'all are in trouble. And so anyway, again, just keep going, man. And I was just talking to Renee about something very important. I have a podcast I'm starting, another one called Dream Makers, where I'm going to feature people who had a dream or an idea to do something. And I know a guy who had an idea. He wanted to start a podcast, a wrestling podcast. And he took risks. And people made comments, oh, you shouldn't waste your time doing that. Hey, Renee, thanks for wasting your time, man. You know how many people have been encouraged because of this, of not just this segment, but the show, something to do, something to keep busy, something to be excited about. So thank you, Wrestle Talk, that you continue to provide not just the segments, but the people who are growing every day and becoming who the Lord has made them to be. And it's a privilege to be able to do this, guys, to be able to spend time to talk about what you love to do. It's the greatest in the world. You don't have to worry about faking it anymore. Once you know who you are, then all the bad stuff that took place before that, you begin to forget about it. So keep going. I love you. I appreciate you guys. Don't stop praying. Don't stop encouraging each other, because life is tough. Life is supposed to be enjoyed, not endured.
Well, Perry, we definitely thank you for the word that you just gave us. And, we're definitely so happy that, you are still here with us, and that, the Lord blessed you with more time and blessed us with more time with you as well. So, just thank you for that, and thank you for the word. And we just look forwards to everything that you have in the future, because we know your work is far from done. And that's why he left you here with us, because you have a lot more work to do and a lot more lives to touch. And we just thank you for everything that you've done, and thank you for being here with the Wrestle Talk podcast. It's a great pleasure to be able to come on here with you. And, you actually co-hosted one episode, and I got to co-host with you that episode. You came on and helped co-host this this morning. Yeah. This afternoon, until Gabe could get in. And, so it's been a pleasure the 2 times that I've been able to co-host with you. And I just look forward to more from you in the future, and just a lot more snippets of truth. And, for those who don't know, he does a Snippets of Truth podcast every single Friday. And, if you haven't tuned into it, it's really worth tuning into. And I'll let him give you the information on that. And as always, you want to drop that prayer on us.
Snippets of Truth actually will be this Thursday. I know on Thanksgiving, because I've got to be I'm celebrating Thanksgiving with my daughter. She just got married and she's having her first Thanksgiving on Friday. So Snippets of Truth will be on Thursday this week. But one other thing that you guys don't know is I also do the Daily Dose of Truth now. It's daily. So if you just search YouTube or anything or Facebook for Snippets of Truth, you should see the happy face with the Snippets of Truth. Daily Dose of Truth is on Facebook and TikTok. So again, encouragement. I don't do this for me, just so you know. I get the greatest satisfaction of encouraging you guys by all the things that God gives me to give you. Because 25 years ago, when I answered the call and he said, will you love me and love my people? I said, absolutely. And I haven't stopped, and I don't plan on stopping, and I will go until I can't go anymore. So thank you again for your prayers. Thank you for this time. Look forward to hearing from your guest, and I'll see you guys next week. I'll pray, and then we can continue on. Father God, we thank you so much for your goodness and grace, for all that you continue to do. It's such a privilege to be able to share your truth with those who are searching for it. I pray that you continue to open every door that needs to be open, close every door that needs to be closed for those workers that are injured, that are not able to do what they love to do. I pray for healing. I pray for strength. I pray that they, even though I can't do what they normally do, that they can be used somewhere else. I also pray for all those who are just getting into it, trying to get started. Father, I pray that not only you make a way financially, but you continue to use all of these relationships for your purpose, for your plan, and for your glory. As we celebrate this Thanksgiving season, Father, I just pray that these people, whoever they might be, wherever they're sitting, in whatever country that they're in, that they, when they call out to you, because you say, whosoever calls upon your name. That's important. So for those that do love you and those that follow you, I pray that you strengthen them. It's not easy following you, and you knew that. You set the example for us. So I thank you. I love you. And I ask these things by the power of the Holy Spirit in the name of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, in whose name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Well, and I have to say, if you've never trusted him yet, do it today. Don't wait. Just don't. Because once you do, you'll see. See, he drives the car, man. We think we're driving. We're not driving. We're just passengers. So buckle up, sit down, and get ready for a great ride. And I'll see you guys next week.
All right, Perry. Thank you very much. Thank you for being here. Perry, we love you, and just look forward to seeing more of you here on Wrestle Talk, and checking out more of your Snippets of Truth. And actually, I have signed up for your daily dose, so I'm looking forward to seeing more of that as well. So
I was at the airport today, and I'm like, I want to get a shot of a plane going over so I can use the illustration of a pilot who has all this knowledge. But if he has knowledge and he hits turbulence and he doesn't apply it, what good is it? You're going down. That's why applying what we learn is so important. Love you guys.
So, all right, Perry.
See you soon.
Thank you, everybody. The one and only Big Daddy P. Gabe, it has been an awesome show so far, and
It's about to get a lot awesomer. All right. Our guest has been waiting. I know he's chomping at the bit right now, ready to go. And I can't thank him enough for being as patient as he is. Do you mind if I handle the intro here? Because we actually have a first in the Wrestle Talk podcast, because I, yours truly, took the extra effort to make sure we had an intro video for our gentleman to appear to. So do you mind if I take the reins here, Haas?
Go ahead and steer away, brother.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, our guest for the second hour here in the Wrestle Talk podcast. He is the newest, biggest sensation in the pro wrestling world. His home backyard of Texas. He has appeared in New Texas Pro Wrestling, Pride Style, Inclusive Wrestling, Freelance Wrestling, WWN, Inspire AD, Wrestle Rave. So many pro wrestling industries that you could ever imagine. He is the one, the only, often replicated, never duplicated, the Wind Dragon, Dustin Nguyen. I gotta get this. We have a button for this, but I just gotta get this out here, man. Oh my gosh, that is the coolest intro we have ever had. Here, we'll throw this out here. Dustin, it is a pleasure to make your acquaintance, man. Thank you so much for coming through for the podcast here tonight. From the bottom of my heart, on behalf of the Wrestle Talk podcast, thank you so much. It is a pleasure to have you. If you just take an opportunity to let everybody know who you are, what you're about. Thank you again, man.
It is my pleasure, and thank you both for having me as a guest for your podcast. Hello to everyone watching here on the Wrestle Talk podcast. My name is Dustin Nguyen. I am the Wind Dragon, Dustin Nguyen. I've been a professional wrestler for the past, I'd say almost 3 years so far. I made my in-ring debut specifically January 26, 2023. I've been a martial artist for as long as I can remember. I believe since the age of 3, I could say. And I was born and raised in Houston, Texas. And I am very blessed and privileged to be a part of this crazy journey, this wonderful journey, and this blessed journey that is professional wrestling. And tonight, I'm honored to be your guest tonight.
Man, Perry says that the Lord works in mysterious ways, man. I'm just glad everything worked out the way that it did to where we could have you. Haas, I want to take the reins here, but I figured you want to take some intro, just say hey to Dustin. I know you're new to his career. I'm honestly new. I'm actually got an opportunity to watch some of your matches, man, but trust me, I'm looking through your whole catalog. You could even see it in the intro there. You wrestled Danhausen.
Yes.
How many professional wrestlers can say that?
Only a good hand bunch full in this industry, I would say. And honestly, when I found out the opportunity that I was able to get to wrestle Danhausen for like my second year in my career, I was like, is this really happening right now?
I would imagine, man. I've been elated just getting to interview Joe Dombrowski, so I can't even imagine being able to wrestle like, some of my heroes like Matt Riddle or excuse me. As you can see, I'm a little starstruck. Even just wrestling you would be an opportunity for me, man. So we can try to jump into this a little bit. We'll try to ease you into it if that's cool. Because we got a couple questions to ask. We'll start with the simple one. You call yourself the Wind Dragon. Where did that nickname come from?
to be up close and frank, if I had to put it on paper, because my last name is Nguyen or Wing, depending on how you pronounce it, it's a play-on-play pun thingy, but also the backstory of my character, that is the Wind Dragon. The story with the Wind Dragon, Dustin Nguyen, is mostly about a young man that is lost and hopeless and pathless in his path to whatever he wants to pursue, whatever he wants to achieve. But then one day he just woke up and just followed this natural, everlasting nature that is the wind. Followed and just went to wherever it breezes, and eventually it led him to the place where the Wind Dragon started, the Sky Temple. The Sky Temple is a mythical and heavenly mountain area where the boy Dustin Nguyen, that is me, where I've learned martial arts, where I've honed my craft and honed my skills to become the fighter that I am, to be the very warrior that I am in the ring, that I'm able to show to the world.
That's fantastic. You know, it's funny too, when I was doing your intro and I was reading the name, I had a feeling, I was like, it's cool that Nguyen sounds like Nguyen. So I was like, it worked out. And I mean, I can appreciate it because we actually got to talk about this via before the podcast, but I'm a huge anime nut. So,
yes,
you know, I'm all about, you know, some of my favorite stuff, that Kamen Rider, you know, when I think of Wind, I think of Ride the Wind. You know, Guilty Gear, one of my favorite song lyrics is, you know, they say rulers are afraid of the wind because the rustling of the trees would take the night from them. And something as simple as even other professional wrestlers, you know, Minoru Suzuki, famous, you know, introduction anytime he shows up into the ring, and every time everybody, despite the fact that they could be people speaking English, know the words kaze ni nare. And for anybody out there that does not know, that means become the wind. And I think it's because the wind is such a natural constant. And I can definitely appreciate that from, you know, the biggest anime dork on the bottom of my heart. So I'd love to hear that it's as simple as that, but I love that it's as involved as that.
Now, I love that you mentioned about Minoru Suzuki, because it gave me a moment that I remembered way before I joined the business. It was Strong Style Evolved before the main event of Young Bucks and the Golden Lovers. There was a moment I watched the actual show in New Japan World. The Japanese commentators, they normally don't say anything during Minoru Suzuki's entrance because they wanted to let the crowd get to the tone kaze ni nare, but they didn't think that the San Francisco crowd at the time would get it. So as they did it, Minoru's like, "Come on, America, don't fail me now, don't fail me now." Then no. San Francisco went kaze ni nare, and
that is my favorite one to watch. I know the one you're talking about.
Like, what? Maji Kayo, you guys know this?
Yeah, that was. I know the exact. For those that don't know, I know the exact clip you're talking about. So the Japanese announcers, they were kind of like on the edge because, you know, he was sizing up to do the entrance, and they were like, "Well, it's a bunch of Americans. You know, Japanese people obviously know the words." But when I tell you the reaction this crowd made in San Francisco, it was probably one of the loudest kaze ni nares you've ever heard. And for those that don't know, the word majika it's Japanese for seriously, like what? They were so stunned that everybody there knew the words. And the thing is that, you know, you say Minoru said, "Don't let me down." I think it was more that he knew if they didn't do it, he was going to go out into the audience and kill every single one of them. Yeah, you don't cross Minoru Suzuki. So now we can pull this back a little bit because I see your attire, you're wearing your in-ring gear. Now, can you give us the backstory on this? You know, is this a traditional garb? Did you earn this yourself? Is this from a family member? And then what is the significance? You know, is green your favorite color? Is it relative of wind? You know, just let us know what's the deal.
I've always associated the color of green and gold and silver, to be exact, as fortunate colors that I resent my life around, mostly because I'm fortunate to be able to live the life that I am blessed to have. And it's green is very bright. It pops out to the human eye, and I can say that I quite get grown into it at first. I was trying to understand. I was trying to figure out what color scheme that can make me stand out. And I don't really see a lot of green in professional wrestling, not ones that I can call off upon my head per se, besides D Generation X. But
And I'd argue that's more of like a snot green or like a neon green. Yours is a very emerald, kind of, grassy green. And it's, I agree. And it's funny because the only other wrestler I can think of when I think of this specific shade is Ho Ho Lun. And I think it's pretty apropos that you guys have very similar, philosophies when it comes to.
Fun fact, I met Ho Ho Lun during Mania Week in Las Vegas. It was during the Pandemonium Pro Show. A lot of the Dragon Gate wrestlers were wrestling at that show. Yamato, Ben K, KZ. I believe Dragon Kid was in the building as well. But I've gotten the chance to talk to him during that weekend. Honestly, it was pretty sweet. All of Mania Week was spectacular of week. And to follow up with the answering of the garb, this is honestly one of my only like connections to my culture of being Vietnamese that is to my wrestling persona. The traditional garb you see me wearing right now is called Ao Dai. Ao Dai is a traditional Vietnamese garment for it's an intertwining term between male and masculine and feminine. There's both styles. This one is the male version. The female version, what you see some Vietnamese girls would wear during Chinese, a Lunar New Year or birthdays and such. It's intertwined, and a little piece of my culture that I am proud to share in the ring.
Definitely can appreciate that. It's one of those things where I think a lot of people just kind of write off a lot of Eastern influenced wrestlers as just, I like to think a lot of people tend to just paint with the big brush of, they're just from New Japan. And it's like, couldn't be further from the truth when it comes to wrestlers like yourself. And I think we as professional wrestling fans should pride ourselves on understanding a culture and the influence, especially when it comes to professional wrestling. Absolutely. Now, we got to jump into the meat and potatoes, man. That intro, I don't think it did you justice, man, because you have some of the most high-flying, skilled, technical acumen I've ever seen when it comes to those strikes. So you have properly studied martial arts. So, I just want to ask, how did you get your start when it comes to that? Most people always hear when you get your start in professional wrestling, but you said you started at the age of 3. And, I also want to know what are the difficulties in incorporating some of that into your moveset? Was it easier? Do you find training for martial arts easier than wrestling, vice versa? And then where are the difficulties that lie in actually doing that? Do you have to hold back to make sure you don't hit these guys as hard as you possibly can?
Oh boy, where can I start with this one? Honestly, it's kind of a funny little story how I started practicing martial arts at the age of 3. Growing up with my grandparents, I would always watch these Vietnamese translated martial arts movies from Hong Kong and stuff. And I thought it was the most coolest thing ever. You see guys flying around, flipping around, like fighting all these swords, all these weapons. And I was like, this is the coolest thing I ever saw. I want to be like that. And I was just playing around, just having a fun time. And then my grandparents had a family friend that used to live in our neighborhood that would be gracious to teach me martial arts. My only condition is when I go to school, at the time where I was like 3, the first 2 years of my training, it was mostly just conditioning. Like professional wrestling and any other forms of physical activity, you got to condition your body in order to be able to handle the physical toll that is what the realm of the profession will give you. And it's no different in martial arts compared to pro wrestling. You got to be able to have good stamina, be flexible, be able to withstand any form of pressure with your body weight and anything else that you may be tested by. And it also helps out too that it's kind of an intertwining thing, martial arts movies, and pro wrestling in my life. Because believe it or not, my first ever professional wrestling match I ever watched, it was a VHS tape, random VHS VCR tape. It was, I forgot which year it was. It was Tokyo Dome. It was Jushin Thunder Liger versus Ultimo Dragon. It's the very one where Ultimo Dragon had all the girls carry all of his Super J Cup titles, and I was like, this is the best thing I've ever seen. It's like, awesome.
Haas, I think you can appreciate this as somebody who equally is not a fan of Mercedes Moné. Before she was rolling up to wherever she's been wrestling recently with those belts, the OGs to do it was Ultimo Dragon in the Tokyo Dome. He had all the ladies rolling up with every single piece of the J crown. To me, that's the difference between just having a bunch of belts versus wearing a bunch of belts. So, and you hit the nail on the head with that one, man, because everybody will tell you on this podcast, Jushin Thunder Liger is my shit. I don't mean to swear, but you sparked something in me just saying that, man. And man, we could go off about this. I feel like I got to pull back real quick. Haas, did you want to take the reins here? I feel like I've just been gushing this whole time.
Well, you mentioned kind of the crossover between your martial arts training and your wrestling training. I know there's been a lot of guys that have either done some type of sport or something in the past and thought, oh, this will be easy, and gotten into wrestling school and went, take their first bump and like, whoa, this ain't as easy as I thought. Did you have any of those moments? And were there any, any issues in trying to incorporate your martial arts with your wrestling training as well? Were there complications with that at all?
I think my set path to wanting to pursue the wrestling business was to express a culture that I've always wanted to share to the world since I was a kid. A martial arts professional wrestler that is not a typical gimmick wrestler that most American wrestling has portrayed on TV. And being my naive young self, I had the same experiences as a lot of people coming up in the business did. I thought this, I knew it was going to be difficult because honestly, the first thing I saw was like a trainer just smoking the absolute dog water of the trainees, and I was sitting there like fresh new, like in the building. I was like, but for some reason I was like, this looks painful, this looks crazy, but I'm gonna do it. I just want to do it. And the parallel to that, I kind of spent like my first few months of my journey not in the most. It was kind of rough per se. I was trying to find myself. Literally, the background of what my character is, finding the win, is a parallel to how I started my journey in professional wrestling. And it was just trying to find who I am, trying to find my footing in wrestling. What can I do to be better? What can I do to help the world that is professional wrestling, and so forth and so on. And now looking back on the journey, it's been quite a long time. I made my in-ring debut around January 26, 2023. I can never forget that day because that is the best day of my life. I made my in-ring debut, but I can roughly tell you that I joined the business around June of 2021. So it's been a long journey, man. Long journey.
Yeah, I know it takes a lot of training before you really get to make that in-ring debut.
Mm-hmm.
And myself, I've never, I actually haven't gone through the training, and I haven't gotten an actual in-ring debut. I do more of the commentary team at our local wrestling. So, but I've talked to a lot of the guys. I've seen what they go through, and I know that there is a lot to it. And, I definitely respect the process that they go through, because there really is a lot more than people realize in getting to do it. But, what would you tell anybody who's trying to get into the business? What type of advice would you have just based on what you've been through?
And what's the best piece of advice somebody's given you?
I got you. To share experiences from my experiences, not everyone's journey is going to be the same. Some people can make their first match within 6 months, 3 months. Some people can make it within a year or 2 years. Professional wrestling is an art form just as much as any other form of entertainment. And it's funny too, because professional wrestling is a mix of so many things: acting, live improv stunt work, improv. It's so many things within one form of entertainment that we all love, and it's kind of so hard to explain to those who don't watch professional wrestling and they ask you, why do you keep doing this to yourself? Why do you keep going through this grueling training that's not paying you anything and that's not going to give you anything for the first few years? Like, why do you keep putting yourself into this? And honestly, I can never really put the words of why I always gravitate to professional wrestling. But it's all love, it's all passion, and I believe everyone that goes into wrestling always have something that keeps them going within themselves. And thus, what I can share from my experiences is love the journey. Each and every step, you love the journey, because like life is a blessing to be living every day. So is the privilege of being in the business and creating your journey, crafting your path. It's a continuous one. It's one that you're not really going to feel like you're going to complete until either you can't do it anymore physically, or whenever the passion burns out. My biggest advice to any up and comer who want to join professional wrestling is be prepared. Be prepared for pain. There's never a day you are never going to go through any pain physically, mentally, spiritually. But if you can harden yourself and always believe yourself, keep yourself disciplined, always stay driven, and never give up on yourself, you will make it far. And the best advice that I was given to some of my fellow vets, and thankfully my trainer, is I'm sorry, I was taken back to a time when I was told about that advice too, is to always be good to those who've been right by you. Always good to be those who are right by you, because you can sometimes you can feel like you're alone in professional wrestling, especially when you have to work so hard to grind and prove yourself. But the people that you meet and the people that you have the chance to get to bond with that share the same passion as you get to share that journey, and in turn you get to share that love to the audience that is giving all their time of day and money to watch this beautiful entertainment that is professional wrestling. And I never take that for granted.
Yeah,
man.
Definitely some sound advice there. And so, and we saw a lot of different opponents there in that video package. And so out of your career, we've already mentioned that you've wrestled Danhausen and everything. So who is been your favorite and most memorable opponent in the ring, and who haven't you faced that you would love to face? And that it can be anybody who, still in the business or not. Who would you absolutely love to face, and who's been the most memorable so far?
Honestly, I think it's a lot more easier for me to answer who I want to be able to be in the ring with more than I ever got to wrestle against others in my career. But not to discredit anyone that I ever have the chance to get to wrestle, because again, I was only like a year and a half or almost 2 years in when I found out I'll be wrestling Danhausen at Inspire AD, and I was like, whoa, oh, really? This is happening? Pinch me now. Like, am I dreaming? Honestly, thinking back on it, there's a handful of people I'm very grateful to be ever to wrestle in my career. First is my trainer, JJ Blake. He's the head trainer of the New Texas Pro Wrestling School / the Houston Wrestling Academy School that is located in the Houston Premier Arena right now. Without him, there will be no Wind Dragon. He pretty practically saved my love and passion for professional wrestling, and he believed in me. He had all the faith in me, and he never gave up on me. And in turn, I learned to never give up on myself. And him being my first one-on-one match, again, same night, January 26, 2023. Not only I had to wrestle a 10-man battle royal for the opening contest of that show. After intermission, when we had intermission during the time, Texas Contender Series 11, Loco at the Houston Premier Arena, I wrestled my trainer, JJ Blake, for the New Texas Pro Lone Star Championship in my first singles match. That is the match I am the most proudest of, because it was a testament to how far and how much work I had to put in myself to do what I needed to do to achieve my dream. So that's one. My first opponent outside of like getting to work outside of America is a fellow friend named Shota Suzuki, or he goes by Shota. He primarily wrestles out of Japan. He has some stints with DDT Pro Wrestling and Ganbare. Shota was really the first person that I was like, oh wow, there's so much more to wrestling than just the American style. There's like the whole world of just one craft, but every single region has their own variety and their own flavor, their own different psychology, and it makes learning all these styles very exciting. And also wrestling him was another test to how far I've grown as a person, as a professional. And I can name a couple more. Izzy James, who's killing it all over in the indies right now. He's killing it with NWA Texas at the moment. And so far, the journey is only beginning. I've wrestled so many good people within the state. I've wrestled in Chicago, Las Vegas, Florida. It's a blessing of a journey. To exactly who I want to wrestle, that would be a dream. That would be a big step into my career, into how much I've grown. In Texas alone, it would be the bounty hunter Brian Keith. The bounty hunter. He has grinded. He has made himself the king of Texas wrestling in the modern day, and right now he is, in my personal opinion, the absolute best wrestler that came out of Texas in this modern day. Then there's Carter Black, former New Texas Pro World Champion, also on same level as Brian Keith. And I'll end off this one because I can go on and on of who I want to wrestle, but if I can see one match that I can realistically see myself doing and create absolute magic with, it would be a GCW Bloodsport style match with Miyu Yamashita. I met Miyu when she
came. Who do we have to phone to make that match happen? Because we need to get Dustin Nguyen at GCW, all right? Because I think about, I have to find the exact match, but I think of Akira, and it's like the fact that most people know him for deathmatch wrestling, but you actually see him. I need to see Dustin Nguyen in a no ropes match, all right? I need to see you just knock some people out like your martial law in Tekken, man.
Yes.
I got chills thinking about that.
I've gotten a chance to meet and attend Miyu Yamashita's seminar when she came to Houston, Texas, for the first Super Contenders that we ever held during our young tenure of Texas Contender Series. It's kind of our NXT below New Texas and so forth and so on. But she too was also a pivotal point of me learning. And the more I watch her matches, I was like, oh my goodness, this whatever aura she just has, I need to learn from it. I need to grow with it. I need to experience it, because what she brings into to the whole realm changes the whole atmosphere of the crowd. I want to aspire to be like that, and that would be my dream match as of this moment.
We got to call it Miyu Yamashita. We got to figure out who to. We will pull strings if we have to. If we can get Joe Dombrowski to help us out, we can definitely make something happen. But man, I do you mind if I throw you some curveballs, Dustin? Just because I really want to try and touch on this. Just because I really try to get outside of the box of professional wrestling if we can, because it's easy to ask somebody like their careers and what they do, and obviously, and we like to hear that. But we also like to get to know the person outside of the ring, outside of the professional wrestling bubble. So, we had the opportunity to chat before the show itself. And I noticed you had sent me a GIF, and it was of one No Game, No Life.
Yes.
Now, for the uninitiated, that is an anime. Don't judge us, Haas. But I have to ask, are you an avid fan of anime?
Absolutely. To this very day.
Now, if I could try to speed round a couple of these animes and you could give us, just, I guess, first thoughts of what you think about them. Do you mind if we run through a couple just to know how it goes?
Honestly, this sounds fun. Let's do it.
All right, dope. All right, so I'll throw one easy for you. Death Note.
But, conflicting.
Okay. We'll come back to that. Sailor Moon.
Very sweet. Very,
Very
sweet.
sweet. Dead Man Wonderland.
I have not got to watch Dead Man Wonderland. I'm so
I'm
sorry.
about to flip this table. No, it's my personal favorite. Well, then we'll reference this in the back just because it's right here. My Hero Academia.
My Boku no Hero Academia. Honestly, that pretty much represents what it means. My Hero Academia, the spirit of a hero.
Spirit of a hero. Hey,
Spirit of a hero.
I think I have something that I can show you that I think you'll like. I'm just hoping it actually comes off the wall.
Yes,
If
sir.
not, okay, I might have to pick up my computer.
Hey, I'm having a good time. How about you, Haas?
I'm definitely enjoying this.
All right, what you got here?
So I want to take this opportunity just because it's on the wall here, but as you can see, this is a framed picture of one Izuku Midoriya, and it might be a little harder to see, but that is actually signed by Justin Briner.
Hey, that's cool.
And
That's cool.
I had him ask if he could write it at the top, but I wrote, Gabriel, you can become a hero because I am the biggest nerd you will ever meet.
I give you a little fun fact within our school in Houston. JJ, he's been watching My Hero Academia lately, and I think he's caught up. And he calls all of us like each generation like different classes, class S, class A, etc., etc. But no matter who we are, himself, he feels like oh my god, I'm drawing a blank here. Who's the tired teacher's name again?
Aizawa.
Yeah,
Eraserhead. Yeah.
Every day is like, you kids tire me out. You kids tire me out. I'll happily teach you, but you tire me out.
Just exhaust. We know he loves us deep down, right?
Yes.
Now, I'll be honest, I've been cheating a little bit. I've been using the posters around my wall for ideas for animes. So I guess let me ask you, what are some of your favorite animes?
The first one that I can absolutely resonate with would be, it's an old one. No one really knows about it. It's called Kenichi, the Mightiest Disciple.
Oh boy, I don't even know that. It takes a lot to stump me with obscure shit. So that you said Kenichi the what? The Mightiest Disciple?
Yep. Kenichi, the Mightiest Disciple. It's despite it being throwing like 2000s-esque Japanese anime tropes during the time, at its core, it is the symbol of my journey as who I am as a person. Kenichi Shirahama, he was really weak, very skinny. It's skinny legs, just timid and all this stuff. It took him being the bravest, engaging in a brave journey, going through a martial arts school of like all 6 masters are the best of each discipline in the world, all just to build the courage to ask a girl out. That's the premise of the anime right there.
You know, that is relatable. That is so relatable for wrestling fans. It hurts. I can tell you that much.
And growing up as a kid, I obviously watched Dragon Ball Z with my father, and you gotta love Dragon Ball Z, my man.
Okay, gotta set it up, bro. It's over here on the wall. I don't want to pick up my computer again, but matter of fact, wait, I forgot. I got Dragon Ball Z cards.
Oh hell, yeah,
right here, dude. Now I just got to throw this out. Who's your favorite character in Dragon Ball Z?
Future Trunks and Super Saiyan 2 Gohan.
That's the only answer. Oh my god, I knew I liked you, man.
Yes.
Now so you said Dragon Ball Z. You said Kenichi the Mightiest Disciple. Was there any others that stood out? Any non-action based ones? If I can.
Non-action based now. Oh man, I actually gotta really. Easy. Despite it being suggestive themes, I do love the overall story and theme of Food Wars.
Shokugeki no Soma. I can appreciate that. It's for the uninitiated. They make really good food, and the only way I can describe it animation wise is orgasmic, because they make it seem like these people are just on another level by eating some like fried rice or something. It's really crazy.
It's not just because about the this one guy who's super talented, like he being the son of a very super talented chef. It's just like every single character's they have their own journey of the same thing that they want to achieve, and that resonates with pro wrestling too, because everyone has their own journey, and given the time and love to just see their perspectives and their hopes and achievements, their aspirations. It gives me perspective on how I can interact with others. And honestly, it's pretty dope. It's pretty dope.
I can definitely now. I just want to throw one out there because I actually have this loaded up just for you. But have you ever heard of the series Ruby?
Ruby? Yes.
RWBY.
Yes.
Now,
I watched that during middle school.
Did you enjoy it, or is it like kind of middling for you?
I enjoyed season 1 and 3.
Okay, so now you're familiar with the characters. So I mean this with all due respect, and I only say this because I think you look badass. But the initial reaction I saw when I saw you head to toe with this outfit, you look like Ren.
Oh,
Ren right down to the stance, and then the only thing we're missing right now is the pink streak in the hair, which never say never. I mean, that's up to you. But that was the first thing that popped into my mind. And now I'm just thinking, all right, we got to get this man some dope ass guns that shoot confetti or something for his next entrance, or so he can, high claw to the wall or something, just something awesome. But the one last thing I want to ask, because we have one last segment we'd like to get over with before we wrap up for the show here today. And I think you'll appreciate it. But, you talk about being influenced by, martial arts films specifically. What were the films that you could say were your favorites, or at least most influential? Like me personally, I'm all about them. I love Jackie Chan movies, City Cop, or what is it? I'm trying to think, Rumble in the Bronx, City Cop or City Hunter. Or I'm getting mixed up with my shit right now. Oh man. Armor of God, of course. And then, Bruce Lee goes without saying, Way of the Dragon, Game of Death, of course. But what are some influential ones for you?
There's a lot. I think I can name more kung fu movies that I've watched that I've grown to love more that I can tell you professional wrestling matches. That's how much I've grown to watch it, and I still watch it to this day. There's good old 36 Chambers of Shaolin. There's the legendary 10 Weapons of China. There's Drunken Master 1978, Jackie Chan.
Yes, that's the good one. That's the one where he's trying to get him off the top of the.
Yes. And I can name so much more, man. Magnificent Butcher by Sammo Hung. Knockabout, same thing by Sammo Hung and Yuen Biao. The Prodigal Son, Ip Man 1 and 2. I like those. I like Ip Man 1 and 2 more than 3 and 4. We don't talk about 3 and 4. Maybe you can talk about 3 because of Mike Tyson, but hey, who knows? There's the overall, all the kung fu movies that I've watched and garnered in my life, it just drives me more to who I want to portray the Wind Dragon as to the world. And each and every like aspects of the movies that I watch, I want to see how I can project the magic that is kung fu movies, and the awesome choreography and the high pace and one take action shots. And each of them always have a story. They always have a story. It's the same way how we always try to tell a story with all the matches we do, with every step we take. And honestly, I'm still trying, because it's kind of hard to do stuff in kung fu movies when not many people in pro wrestling knows martial arts. So I'm like, oh man, I got my work cut out for me. And 5 Deadly Venoms. I'm gonna throw out there 5 Deadly Venoms. That's my favorite.
I can definitely appreciate it. For me, I just thought of one more. The Raid.
The Raid.
If you get a chance to watch a kung fu movie, John Haas, that's the one to watch. All right, it is the right amount of violent, but it is the right amount of quick pace speed. Mm-hmm. These guys look like they're running in fast forward. It's insane how quick these guys are. Like,
if you do want to watch something that will make you laugh, though, I can recommend you 2 Stephen Chow movies: Shaolin Soccer and Kung Fu Hustle. They're both good, but you will laugh. You'll have a good time.
Kung Fu Hustle's the way to go.
Sure.
I just want to say we are very quickly reaching to the end of the program here, man. But this hour has just flown by. I had said it in the group or in our chat, but you are a class act, man. You are very professional, one of the tightest, cleanest, both in the ring, presentation wise. I mean, the fact we had your info on a sheet. This man had a resume with all of his information, man. I wish half of our guests would come as prepared as you do, dude. And just the fact that we had that and that perfect glamour shot that you gave us for the cover today, if everybody handled things the way Dustin Nguyen would, we wouldn't have to struggle as hard as we do. All right. So, we have a segment here that we have on the Wrestle Talk podcast that we always like to invite our guests, if they are willing to, that we call the world famous Wrestle Talk podcast trivia challenge.
Oh boy.
So we always try to challenge our guests with one of our hosts and see if we have a best of 3. And so I figure, being the person who invited you to the program, I figure we have to test your strength here on the Wrestle Talk podcast, see whose wind blows harder. And so Hardcore Haas is going to be running the reins for the questions, but we have to ask you, the Wind Dragon, Dustin Nguyen, will you accept this challenge?
This is your show. I'm just guest. Let's do it.
All right.
Boy, I tell you, Gabe, you were a lot more subdued when you asked him about that than you were in the back room when you threw the challenge out, amongst the meeting earlier.
Shut up! Don't tell him I'm a fanboy. No.
Because earlier you were saying there's no way you can lose, so you just had to have the challenge.
Look, all right. We've listed his list of accomplishments. We can list my list of opponents that I've taken down in this game show challenge. All right. I'm no slouch. I know a thing or two. Now, if this was questions about Kung Fu movies, you'd have me beat. All right. But this is professional wrestling. So I think I got just enough info to rake the win here, man.
Let's have some fun.
All right. So before we get going, we have just a little music here just to kind of set the mood for our game show challenge. Welcome to this week's installment of the world-famous Wrestle Talk Podcast Game Show Challenge. Tonight's contest is scheduled for the best 2 out of 3 falls and features the young lion with the old soul, Gabriel Arsene, taking on the Wind Dragon. Tonight's Game Show Challenge category is Who is that masked man? I will give you information on 3 famous professional wrestling personalities who wore masks. When you think you know the answer, shout it out. The first person to win 2 out of 3 falls will win tonight's game show challenge. If you shout out an answer and it is incorrect, feel free to continue shouting out until we do have a right answer. So, do you understand the rules? Gabe, are you ready to go? Do you understand?
I'm ready to rock and roll.
All right. Dustin, do you understand and understand the rules, and are you ready to roll?
In reference of our tag team with JJ Blake Rush Hour, do you understand the words that come out of my mouth? Yes, I understand.
All right. So question number 1. This masked wrestler held multiple championships in the NWA and TNA. Presently, without the mask, he is an agent in the WWE.
What's his name?
Abyss.
Oh, God.
Abyss is correct.
I was thinking Christopher Daniels.
WWE, not AEW.
Yeah, that's... Dang it. All right.
Gabe, you might get schooled tonight.
Look.
It ain't over till we get through this. It ain't over.
It ain't over till the fat lady sings and Susie Haas isn't here. All right.
Oh no, not Susie.
All right, I'm in trouble. She's gonna wring my neck for that later.
Susie, forgive him. He didn't mean it.
I was gonna say Roseanne had already sung, so you know.
That is true.
But okay. Question number 2. This luchador has held championships in the Crash, PWG, Progress Wrestling, and ROH. Most recently, he was an AEW Tag Team Champion.
Bandito.
Bandito is correct. Well,
All right. Okay.
Technically, he has already beat you, Gabe.
This
But-
is
Are we
correct.
allowed to do that? Are we allowed to answer the question mid-question?
Yes,
Yeah,
you are.
No, dude, by all means, that's how we play this game.
Okay. I'm so sorry. I just want to make sure. I'll get jazz.
Beans, he has technically already won 2-0.
Oh, it's already? Already?
Yeah, dude, you already got it. No,
Yeah,
now
'cause it's best of 3.
we
But,
still have one question.
Let's see if Gabe can answer this final question. If he can't, then Gabe has been swept, which I don't know that that's ever happened.
Oh no! I don't.
So let's see. Can Gabe be swept, or is this, or can he save face here? The Professional Wrestler Hall of Famer has held championships.
Rey Mysterio.
No. And Dragon Gate, CMLL.
Ultimate Dragon.
No. Michinoku Pro. I can't say that. So, the NWA, WCW, Pro Wrestling, Noah, and New Japan. Many fans
Thunder
would
Liger.
Christian Thunder Liger.
That is correct, and I did hear Gabe first on that one.
Yes.
Oh, man. When the Dragon
If
Gate
I
one
was
threw
gonna
me
get
off.
any question right, it had to be the Jushin Thunder Liger question. That was it.
The Dragon Gate one threw me off, but I forgot that Jushin Thunder Liger was the Open the Dream Gate champion at one point. So woo!
I didn't even know that. See that I'd learn everything new every day, man. But despite the score, I am 1-2. Dustin, despite the last question, you, sir, have reigned victorious here in the Wrestle Talk Podcast Game Show Challenge. So if you'll allow us, if we can find it. There we go.
Final Fantasy.
Your victory dance, sir. Congratulations on the win, sir. I will get that run back eventually, all right?
So, thank you for being here. It's been a pleasure, and allow me to be the first to welcome you to the Wrestle Talk Podcast family. It is a great pleasure, and please promise us that you will come back again sometime, because I feel like there's just a lot more that we can talk about, and a lot more that we can learn about you. So we would love to have you back sometime. So please promise us that thing that you will come back for us.
I hope to promise to find the time to be able to come back, because I had a spectacular time spending the night with y'all, talking about wrestling, talking about the journey, playing a little fun trivia game, sharing anime. I just had a really good time overall.
And also, before we let you go, please shout out your socials so that people know where they can find you, and let us know where you can be seen at next. What you got coming up.
Where we can find the wind blowing Dustin Nguyen.
Sure. You may find the Win to guide you on all my social medias at WinDragonDN for Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Unfortunately, I have TikTok, but it's good. It's good for the grind, and I will always call it Twitter. I will never call it X. But yes, at WinDragonDN, my Facebook is my name, Dustin Nguyen. You can find me when you search it in the Facebook search bar and follow my page. I try to keep all my socials up to date to let everyone know where my journey is. And you can also find where my professional journey can be either under the New Texas Pro social media pages or the Houston Pro Wrestling Academy.
Fantastic. So, Dustin, it's been a pleasure and an honor. And I know I've said it about 100 times tonight, but thank you so much for coming through for this spot. Our initial guests had fallen through, and I know we had initially scheduled you for another date, but I'm so glad you could slot it and help us out. And I had a great time. And I'm glad to hear that you enjoyed the same. And I hope you have fighting games at all, because I would love to play you in Marvel vs. Capcom if we have the opportunity, man. But, from everybody in the Wrestle Talk podcast, from the Wrestle Talk podcast family, from the bottom of our hearts, thank you so much. We love you, and we hope to see you again.
Gabriel, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, Dreamcast. Let's make sure that one. Also, Super Smash Brothers Melee. I'm a Melee person.
Okay. I'll see you then.
Gentlemen, thank you so very much.
Thank you. Another great episode.
That hour went by like nothing. Oh my God, that was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, the whole show just kind of flew by tonight. I mean,
we had Perry, we had DeWant. This is to be expected for Thanksgiving, man. This is just to show everybody how everything, we have this, just like Perry said, all this in the moment right now, all at once. We can all take it in and just appreciate what we have right now, because, man, that was awesome.
Yeah, definitely another great show in the books, and just couldn't be happier with it. And, another great guest, and just absolutely had a great time. Glad you were able to make it in for the show again. Always enjoy.
I'm glad Perry was able to cover for me, man. You guys just held the fort now. You guys probably could have gone another hour without me. I just wanted to make sure I had time for Dustin, man. I felt like it would have been a slap in the face if I wasn't here to interview the guy.
Yeah, it's always a great time. Just love when we get to spend time with Perry. Love when we get to spend time with DeWan. Love when we get to spend time with our great fans here at the Wrestle Talk Podcast. The Wrestle Talk Podcast family is just absolutely amazing, and we love each and every one of you. But of course, before we get out of here, we could not do this without our great and wonderful sponsors of the Wrestle Talk Podcast. So got to give another shout out to them. We've got Retro Zone, Painter's Dream Productions, that's Perry, Independent St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame, Doomed Outfitters, that's our boy Ace, World Domination Wrestling Alliance, right here in West Virginia, our partners in crime there, and the FWWC, the world's premier fantasy wrestling group. We heard from DeWan earlier, talk a little bit about it. And, if you want more information, either hit one of us up or check it out, Fantasy Wrestling Worldwide Chapter on Facebook. And, we would be more than happy to have you over there. We'd have an absolute great time, and just
if
check
you
us
think
out.
you got the guts to hang with the beasts.
So,
and before we wrap this up, Haas, you got to say it the right way, man. It ain't the FWWC. It's the
FWWC. But that's right.
There it is. Yeah.
So, next week I'll be right back here again with Elevation with my boy Gavin Jackson from over there at the World Domination Wrestling Alliance. So tune in there, and we hit that at 7:00 Eastern, 6:00 Central. And so just be sure to tune in. Look forward to another great episode there, and just want to thank each and every one of you. So go ahead, Gabe, and close us out for the night and take it away.
All righty. So as always, thank you again for sticking with us, folks. And I just want to take this opportunity to wish everybody a very happy, a healthy, a safe, happy Thanksgiving from everybody here in the Wrestle Talk Podcast. And I just want to throw this out because I was the one who put this question in here, but I mentioned Joe Dombrowski for a reason. MLW Battle Riot, we're coming back to Florida. Hit me up, guys. I want to go so badly, please. But as always, from the young lion with the old soul, from Hardcore Haas, from Big Daddy P, from the Night Owl Renee Martinez, Luke Skywalker Roberts, Doomed Outfitter himself, Ace, and the badass American diva, Susie Haas, and Nathaniel Jones. Thank you and good night.